All right, good morning and welcome to Beitzah Daf Vav, Beitzah 36. Told Shmuel I'm pumped for this year. We got a lot going on today, a lot to deal with. I just had a great conversation with someone named Rafal Moshe, what was his name? Mayor Attia, or Attias. He's distinguished lineage. His great-grandfather was Rosh Yeshiva of Porat Yosef. What's his first name? Maybe Rabbi Yaakov. I don't know what his first name is. Who is the Rosh Yeshiva of Porat Yosef? Attia? Attias? Ezra Attia. Ezra Attia, one of the leading Rosh Yeshiva of Porat Yosef, where Rabbi Yosef learned also. And we have his great-grandson. I was just talking to him. I said over my Iyun with Benzion portion of the shir today, just leading you into this a little bit. It's going to be at the end of the shir, the Iyun with Benzion. He loved my chiddush. He was in love with it. He gave me a kiss, gave me a hug. Can you believe it? The great-grandson, Ezra Attia. Now, he didn't give me a kiss or a hug, but he really did like it. He was really impressed with it. He was impressed that a guy, a balabas like me, knows how to learn so well. Right? What is it? Right? Relovitz. You know how I know how to learn, right? Come tell the camera that I know how to learn. Tell everybody. You've heard me talk of learning. They can't see you. Come, just give me affirmation on the camera. Tell them the disclaimer. Give me some likes. Give me some approbations.
Rabbi doesn't need any.
Am I a gaon in Talmud? Do I know how to learn well?
It's not up for discussion. It's such an obvious.
Me and Lubavitch we've discussed in the past couple of years numerous sugyas, and we've been yored the Omik Shal Halacha together. I don't know why he left. I don't know what that's for my motivation. He's serious though. I do know how to learn, and even Rav Attia. Even Rav Attia concedes that I know how to learn very well, and he was shocked at that chiddush. He didn't think it was coming from me. A guy who's making videos, knows how to give a chiddush like that. He was shocked, you know. I say better chiddushim than Panovich, you know, than Chevron, you know. Why go to Chevron? Why go to Panovich? Just get a computer, go on YouTube. Listen to Benzion Leg. This is where it's at. I'm telling you. Plus, you get an excellent Daf Yomi shir, quick, concise, to the point. No digressions to topics that are unrelated to the Daf. I do talk about things that are unrelated to the Daf, but there's humor. It's not just some digression about some random obscure halacha. And I want to tell you guys, folks, that I have a new video coming out. This is a great video. I'm really excited about it. I came up with this idea when I was eating breakfast this morning. I bought some Special K cereal. You heard of Special K cereal? And then my collet here. It's a famous Kellogg cereal, an old Kellogg cereal, consisting of rice, whole wheat grains, and barley grains, all together into a nice crisp flake. A lot of B12, a lot of B6. Very healthy, very tasty. And the hechsher, I'm not sure the hechsher in the United States who gives it, but here in Europe and Asia, it's given by the MK, not Knesset. MK stands for Manchester Kashrus Badatz of Manchester. They give the hechsher, and I think it's a reliable hechsher, which leads me in to my new video. Is there a connection between hechsherim and sports stars? Right? I'm going to analyze 3 different hechsherim. The Manchester hechsher, Manchester Badatz, you know, and Manchester is also the home of Cristiano Ronaldo. Pronounce his name right? Probably the most popular person in the world. You have no idea who he is, Shmuel, right? Ronaldo? You know who he is? He's a soccer player. He's probably the most famous, the most liked person in the world. He's very good looking. He's one of the best soccer players ever. He plays for Manchester United. Manchester, got me thinking, Manchester Hechsher and Manchester United. It's the same place. It's a city in England. Manchester, he plays Manchester United is the most famous soccer club there is probably in the world. It's probably the most valued franchise there is in the world. I think around $5 billion it's valued at. So I was thinking about a connection between kashrus and sports. two things I really love. I love sports more than anything else, more than almost anything else in the world, and I love food because I'm a little overweight, but not because of that. I like it because I like tasting different things. It's enjoyable to eat. It's enjoyable to taste new tastes, combine new tastes, and I want to make the connection in food. So what's the connection in food and sports stars? Kashrus. Kashrus is the connection, and two other famous kashrus symbols I want to take into account: the OU and the star K. The OU is from New York, and what's the connection to OU and Kevin Durant? You know what Kevin Durant is? No. And the star K is from Baltimore, and another famous sports star from Baltimore. His name is Lamar Jackson. Who is he? What sports does he play?
Is he a home run hitter?
No, he does throw a deep ball sometimes. He's more known for his speed, his running. He plays football, American football, NFL. Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Jackson, they call him. Probably the fastest quarterback I've ever seen. The slickest moves. He can throw the ball also. So he's up and coming star. Kevin Durant's an established star. And Ronaldo, probably the most famous person in the world.
Really?
He's the most followed person on Instagram and Twitter.
That's your language.
Soon.
Most famous
In a couple days, couple weeks, I'll be the most followed liked person in the world. But until then, Cristiano Ronaldo still holds the trophy.
Rabbi, this is someone who's a Daf Yomi shir.
Stop it. Stefanski, yeah.
Rabbi Stefanski. They showed his socks on one of his videos. So that.
Right, I did see that. What was that all? What do you mean? In the Shiva World News?
Yes.
There was a picture of socks, and
yes.
I clicked on it, and there was a link to his.
Right, because
his
which
shiurim.
Which Maggid here wears these type of socks? And
He wears those socks
I was thinking
also.
about you. I thought it was maybe you.
I wear nicer socks
I
than
thought it was
those.
a click to you because you also showed.
I couldn't believe it. It wasn't anything related to Daf Yomi. It's just a picture of someone wearing socks, blue and black socks. Colorful socks.
You wear nicer socks.
I wear nicer socks, and then you click on it, and it has links to all his shiurim, his interviews.
People don't listen to him more than you. You have much nicer socks than he has. You
Exactly.
showed me once. What do you call what's the name? Your socks with no.
Well, I actually just ordered Mitch Bogan. Those were the other.
Kevin
I usually
Beitzah,
use Tommy Hilfiger. I'm going to America soon, so I'm going to revamp my wardrobe and get some new socks. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to getting the best, most colorful, most popular, most riveting socks there are out there on the market.
Make a video and talk about how your socks are outdoes Rabbi Stefanski socks.
It's not even a competition. I mean, it used to be me and Stefanski were a competition. Listen, everyone who watches my show knows it's not a competition anymore.
I know, because your socks are so much more colorful.
Yeah, colorful. It represents my personality. It's a lot more colorful than his. Socks represent your personality. Because what else does a Haredi person have to represent his personality? What colors can a Haredi person wear? Maybe a tie? The socks is the only thing colorful he's allowed to wear. Maybe your underwear. I don't know, but, you wear colorful underwear.
No, socks are really...
Socks, right. Socks are representing personality.
I'm surprised that other Rosh Hashivas don't wear such colorful socks. I mean, they would...
Why surprised? I
Maybe
wouldn't be
they
surprised.
do, because they have long... Listen, Hasidim can't wear colorful socks, because everybody sees their socks.
So most Yeshiva do not have colorful personalities. That's why they don't wear colorful socks. All right, let's go on.
Well, Kohanim wear socks also. I know that, because when they duchen, you see they're wearing socks.
Okay. People wear socks. This is
I think Einstein didn't
2021. People are wearing socks
wear
these
socks. I think
days.
Einstein didn't wear socks.
All right, listen. Einstein is Einstein. Whatever. Listen, the guy thought too much. He's thinking too much. Stop thinking Einstein too much. Who cares? E equals MC squared. What's the difference? What did it lead to? Some nuclear bombs? I mean, come on. Listen, get with the program. Get with the world. Forget about all these mathematical equations. Nothing against Einstein. Listen, he contributed a lot. I'm sure he did a lot of things. A lot of things he did I have no idea about. And I'm sure he's a very fine person. But, he's, a person that did a little too much thinking, I think, in life, You got to act in life. You got to take control of life. You got to enjoy life. And in that, you can't use your mind too much. Which leads us to our Daf Yomi, Iyun with Benzion part. We'll get to it, and it's a connection between those two. All right, here we go, Shmuel. You ready? Hasam Tanan, top of Lamed Vav and Aleph, Hasam Tanan.
I can't see anything. I'm getting the tomorrow.
All right. Hasam Tanan, it says over there in Shabbos of Alois Otzar. We said this, we were discussing comparing the cases in Shabbos, being able to empty out your storage area in order for people to learn or to have guests on Shabbos. We said you can take out 4 or 5 boxes, one of a Yom Tov. So one of the technicalities by Shabbos is that you can't empty out the entire storage area. Amar Shmuel, my avalos otzar. Shmuel asked over there, what does it mean? You can't empty it out. Avaligi mora esa otzar kula. You can't empty out the entire otzar. Dilma asi lashvigum. What's the reason you can't empty it out? Because they had a dirt ground, and you're going to come to smooth out the ground. It's the malacha of Benzion. Hachamai. What's halacha by Yom Tov? Are we concerned if you take off all the fruits off your roof? Again, their roofs were probably made of dirt also. Are you going to mashva gumos? Hasam hu b'Shabbos da'asur mishum d'chamil. Shabbos is more chamer. But Yom Tov to kill Shabbos perdami. But Yom Tov, which is mekel, maybe it's okay. There we're talking about the case he wanted people to learn, or place for the people to learn. Amar lo. They said no. Haka deleka b'tamei lo kloshke, and certainly on Yom Tov should be asur. Now the Gemara gives another comparison. Hachatnan, it says over here, Mishilim Piros Derech Aruba B'Yom Tov Amar Rav Nachman L'Shon Elabos God. You can only do lower payros to the skylight on your roof, on that roof, one roof. On a gag lagag to transport the fruits to another roof, you can't, and lower it through the skylight. You can't do it. And even if the roofs are connected to each other, you can't transport it from one roof to the next. What would be the halacha? By Shabbos, could you transport it from one place to another place? Kol shekein Shabbos the chamira. Certainly, maybe Shabbos is more. For sure, you can't do it as chamira. Dilma hakud also mishum Yom Tov the kill. The asil zuzule, but Yom Tov has more make halachas. You might be mezazal. Shabbos the chamira. The asil zuzule be. It's not as chamer. It's more chamer. People are not mezazal. Shabbos maybe it's mutter. Dilma mahakad. You can have some payros. Amar lo. Here we're talking about we don't want to lose, ruin fruits. Fruits are creation of Hashem. We don't want to be ruined. Hasam the lake. I have some payros. Lo kol shekein. There, where there's no lack of fruits, you're not losing fruits. It's boxes of straw. Lo koshkin, certainly it should be asr. Hacha, another comparison, another question. Lo yishosh leim b'chevel b'chalonos v'lo yiridim derech sulamos. Even though you can lower the fruits through the skylight, you can't pick them up through a window. If you have to pick them up to put them through the window, or you can't take them down a ladder. That's too much exertion. Hasamai. What about on Shabbos? Can you do these things to transport the straw? Hacha b'yom tehud asr the lake of bitul beis. There's no bitul beis medrash. Al Shabbos you can bitul beis medrash. Shopper done. Maybe it's mutter. Al dilma hacha you can have said payros. Amart lo. Here we're going to lose fruits. Hashem's creation. We said no. Hasam like have said payros. Lo kol shekain. Certainly it should be usher. Take you. We have no idea. Can you compare these cases or not? Therefore you go to kula because also yisrum derabanan. So you go to kula psak halacha levad harabanim of Manchester. We're not in Manchester. All right. Mechasin es payros. We said you can cover the fruits. Amar Ula, you can cover the fruits in order to protect them from the rain. Amar Ula, afila avira de libni. Even bricks, he said, even though the bricks are muksa, you can cover them with a cloth in order to protect them from the rain. It's like Amar peiros ruin. Rabbi Yitzchak argues. He says only peiros that are not muksa. They're roy to eat. As Yitzchak is going according to his own svara. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak in klinita alo davar anital b'Shabbos. You can only transport a kli, meaning a cloth to cover it for the purpose of protecting something which is not muksa, which something is nital b'Shabbos, you can carry on Shabbos. You can't move bricks on Shabbos, so you can't cover it. We seemingly have a proof from a mission of Rabbi Yitzchak. It says you cover the fruits. Why did it specify fruits? But bricks, no. Muksa, no. The Gemara says, "Who didn't have feel of your living? It could be even bricks you can cover." Since the Reish Mishnah was talking about fruits, it was talking about an allowance to lower fruits through a skylight. So therefore, the Sefer also talks about fruits, but really it could apply to Muksa also. Tanan. So we don't have a proof one way or the other. Tanan. The Mishnah continues. You could also bring a cloth to cover, bottles of wine and bottles of oil. Hacha b'mayaskina. So you see, those things are things that are not muksa. So only things that are not muksa you can cover. There we're talking about where it's tevel. Since it's tevel, the shuas ma'aser weren't taken off, so therefore it's muksa, and therefore it could even carry something to cover something that's muksa. Hakanam mistaber. The doesn't make sense. These sakadai that kediyayim, the kediyashim that teira that are not muksa, meaning the shuas ma'aser taken off. Hatanale reisha peros kediyayim kediyashim and it's strichalei. Why do you have to tell me jars or bottles of wine and oil? It's the same thing as fruits. Why just mention extra cases? Salka daitachamin, as Mar said, there is reason to say bottles of wine and oil. Yeah. Salka daitachamin, I would have thought they have some ruba chashash, they have some mu'ala chashashu. Maybe Chazal were worried about losing a lot of money, losing a little bit of money. They weren't so concerned about, right? Losing a lot of fruits. Fruits are worth more money than, I don't know, this is really true, than a bottle of wine or a bottle of oil. I guess the bottle of oil, bottle of wine are smaller than the amount of fruits. Kamash Malon, we're even worried about hefsid muad, about your wine and your oil. Not menostin kli tachas adelef b'Shabbos. The Mishnah continues. You can put a pail underneath the leak on Shabbat. It leaks from your roof. You can put a pail to collect the water. So you see that water is obviously dirty water, so it's muksa. So you see even for muksa, you can take a kli. So you notlin kli yafilu davar sheinonito. Now like Rabbi Yitzchak. This is Bedelev Haroy. We're talking about clean rated water. Apparently your roof, when it touched your roof was a clean roof. So it's still roy to give to the animals. Tashma. You can spread a covering over bricks on Shabbos. These are muksas. So you could cover muksa. Whereas the Eiser Minyana, no, we're talking about bricks that were left over for after you were done building, you finished building. The Chazil Mizgalaya. Now you're not using them for building anymore. So in your mind, you designate them for leaning on. Shmuel, you ever lean on bricks? Tashma, porcelain mechatzelas algabi avonim b'Shabbos. You're allowed to spread covering on a mat on rocks on Shabbos. Rocks are muksa. The Gemara says ba'avonim mikruzol. It's talking about pointy rocks. The Chazal on the Beitzah that you can use in the bathroom to wipe yourself with. So they're not muksa. Tashma, porcelain mechatzelas algabi kiveres dvorim b'Shabbos. You're allowed to spread a mat on top of a beehive on Shabbos to protect it from the sun and protect it from the rain. As long as you don't do it in a way, you don't have kavana to trap the bees inside the beehive, which is Gemara Seda. Whereas Hasam Nami, the Ikadvash. The Gemara thought beehive is muksa. And the Gemara says, no, there's honey in the beehive, so it's not muksa because of the honey. It makes sense in the summer. The Ikadvash, we must like sham in the winter, there's no dvash. No, even in the winter, they put two, what are those things they store the honey in? Honeycombs, two rows of honeycombs in there with honey, so the bees have what to nourish on, what to feed themselves with. So that makes the whole beer not muksa. The Gemara says, Osan Sheichal is muksa saying they're set aside for the bees. They're not set aside for people to take honey from it. It's a muksa for the bees. Here we're talking about, the Mishnah is talking about, this Bryce is talking about, he had kavana before Yom Tov to partake of that honey in the shtei chalos. Avalo chashla, intentionally shtei chalos, right? Two chalos. Avalo chash avalei mai aser. So what are you trying to tell me? That if you didn't have planned to take from them, it's going to be aser. Tani uvash leis kavan lotzud. Instead of teaching me an unrelated halacha to what we're talking about, as he should have kavana not to trap him. It only applies that he can take, he can cover the beehive when he was prepared to take honey from them. Should tell me a more direct halacha about muksa. That's what we're talking about. That's the more direct halacha. So the Gemara says, no, really, the kavan of the Beitzah is that even if he had chashava, even if he did have a machshava to use them, the Mishnah found it important. Going back on our Havamim, it's important to tell me that Seidah is a problem. Also, you have to have fun and out to trap it. So what are we establishing this price like Rabbi Yehuda? It's like muksa, because according to Rabbi Yehuda, you have to repair things. According to Rabbi Shimon, the shtei chalos would not be muksa. Ema seifa, avashli is kavan lotzah. As long as it's kavanah not to trap it. Also, Rabbi Shimon makes sense. According to Rabbi Shimon, the Amar Darvish is kavan mutter. He holds if you don't have kavanah from malacha, that's mutter. So Gemara says, "V'tispra, is it really possible to say that really the safe is Rabbi Shimon? The Rabbi Shimon, if you cover the entire biyah with a mat, even if you don't have kavanah to trap them, lamaisa at the end of the day, they're for sure going to be trapped. Right? They're for sure going to be trapped. So it's a psik reishay. There's no going back on this. The Gemara says, "La'olam kula Reb Yehudi." Really, we'll say the whole Bryce is Reb Yehudi. But how am I asking? The ispe kave. There's a window in there, meaning you cover the main entrance to the beehive where the bees come and enter and exit. But there's a small window in the beehive where they can get out, where they're not trapped. Below table Rabbi Yehuda, Vavash is kavan latzud. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it has nothing to do with the kavana. Say a different wording in the Mishnah, a different wording in the Beitzah. You shouldn't make it into a trap, meaning you should leave over a place where they can get out. You should have the windows should be open, they should be able to get out. So there's pshita. If this is the chiddush that you should leave a place open to get out, so you shouldn't violate the malacha of seder. Pshita, it's obvious. What's the chiddush of the brisa? Mao the same of mino nitzor aser shalom mino nitzor mutter. Maybe you would have that trapping only applies on Yom Tov, something that's normally trapped. Bees you don't normally trap. Right? And some animals you trap. Let's say you trap a bird, you want to shaft it, or you trap a deer, you want to shaft it. You don't trap bees. So therefore, shalom mino nisa on Yom Tov mutter. It's not a malach at all. Kamash mulan, it's still aser midrabanan. Rav Ashi Amar, a different explanation to this price to get out of the original problem. Because sani b'yamos hacham amos ha'kshamim. Or we really does it say during the days of the summer and during the days of winter? B'cham ne'acham uksham ne'asham. It doesn't say b'yamos. It says to cover it from the sun and to protect it from the rain. Yomei Nisan, Uviyomei Tishrei. We're talking about the days of Nisan and the days of Tishrei. The Ika Chama, the Ika Geshalom. In Eretz Yisrael, it's possible to have both sun and rain. The Ika Dvash. And there's always honey there, so therefore it's considered a problem of Muksa. And therefore we can say the Bryce is talking about where it was Mukha and it can fit according to Rabbi Yitzchak that ain't Klinita al Davar Anito. Nostin Kli Takas Adalif B'Shabbos.
You sure he does usually have rain? It could have
What?
rain. Yeah, it could have rain. Yeah. It's rain.
Now we're in, we just started, actually today's the last day of Tishrei, it's Rosh Chodesh today. So it's actually still Tishrei. We still haven't had rain yet, but we thought we had rain one day of Sukkot, and I realized that was my neighbor's air conditioner was leaking. So it was sunny outside and there was rain falling. What's going on? It was leaking, bad leak. All right, Nostin Kli, oh, perfect, related to what we're just talking. Nostin Kli Takas Adalif B'Shabbos. You're allowed to put a pail under a leak on Shabbos. Tana. If enough water filled up the basket, the bucket, you can go pour it out in the toilet or in the bathtub, whatever, and then bring it back. But ain't no nimna. He doesn't have to stop doing this. Be'erav Chaya da Abaye Dolof, the house of the millstones, where Abaye kept his millstones in order for grinding things. It started becoming very rainy and there was a leak there. Asala Kamei de Rabba, this is on Yom Tov. He says, go bring your bed into the millstone room in order that the millstones, which we discussed it, started to become disgusting because of the rain, in order they should be a graf shel rei. The afke, graf shel rei is literally a toilet. It's something that's used where you go to the bathroom in. So this is it's disgusting. If it's in your living quarters, you're allowed to remove it. You also Abaye v'kakash. Abaye thought about this heter and was asking himself the question: Can I bring my bed there? I can't make a graf if the graf shel rei happens by itself. So then I have a heter to remove the graf shel rei. But I can put my bed in there. Who says you could do that? Adahachi, while he was thinking about that, Nafal Be'erichai, his millstones got completely destroyed. Dabai Amar Teisili da Avri Adamar. I'm deserving that she got destroyed. A big hefsid mamon because I didn't listen to my Rebbe right away. I should have listened to him right away and brought my bed in there and removed the millstone from the place where the leak was. Amar Shmuel Graf Shel Rei Avavit Shel Meir Raglayim, either a toilet or a urinal. Mutalot Sil Ashba. You can. These were detachable, I guess. Sometimes detachable. In the future, there'll be detachable toilets. Detachable, imagine having detachable toilets. You can take a toilet with you, taking your urinal with you. Sometimes you go on these hikes, in Israel, these hikes, you need like a toilet or a urinal. They have porta potties, but it's something smaller. Wouldn't that be a great invention, Shmuel?
No, they just found it, an old toilet. You saw that? They found it. They found it.
Where?
In Yerushalayim somewhere. Someone had a fancy villa and they had a toilet, which a big stone, which was like a toilet, and something not
Stone is
everybody
very
had
heavy,
it.
but maybe.
Nobody had it. It was like something only the rich people had it, toilet indoors.
Yeah, I think this has potential. You know, they make potties for children. I think an adult potty would be something worthwhile to invest in. All right. So the Gemara says, you can take it out to the, while it's dirty, it has urine or excrement in there, you can bring it to the garbage and empty out. When he brings it back, right, it's really muktzah, so he has to put water in there, so he's carrying because of the water. Savar mina, we thought from this, graf shel rei agav mana in bifnei atzmo lo. Graf shel rei you can only use, meaning it's because it's in a kli, because it's in a potty, because it's in a toilet, or because it's in a urinal, so therefore you can transport the urine or the excrement. But bifnei atzmo, to actually transport, I don't know who would do this, to take in your hand actual urine or excrement. It sounds kind of disgusting. You can't do that. Tashma, the Gemara proves you could do this. There was a certain mouse they found in the spice cabinet of Ravashi. Mouse. Amrulhu Ravashi knocked it take it by its tail and take it out. You can actually transport the actual mouse. It's Rav Sharei. I don't know who would actually take a mouse by their tails. I don't know. I'm all grossed out by mouse, by mice. Maybe it's talking about a mouse of a computer. I have no idea. It's hard for me to believe that people would actually grab mice by their tail. It's kind of disgusting. All right, Mishnah. Kol shechayim alav mishum shvus mishum reshus mishum mitzvah b'shabbos chayavin alav b'yom tov. Anything which we'll see these three categories. They're made shvus is a gzeira d'rabbanan, they didn't allow you to do on Yom Tov, or reshus is a voluntary action, you don't have to do it. And mishum mitzvah, things that were a mitzvah, they also asked on Shabbos, you also asked on Yom Tov. What's considered a gzeira d'rabbanan? The olin be'ilan, you can't climb a tree. But you can't ride an animal on Yom Tov. You can't go swimming. You can't clap your hands, you can't hit your thighs in avelus. You can't dance. These things are voluntary actions. They still ask lo danin. You can't adjudicate a case. You can't betroth. You can't do kiddushin. V'lo cholzin. V'lo miyam. You can't do chalitza or yibum. Eilhem mishum mitzvah. These are mitzvahs which they still disallow it on Yom Tov. Lo makdishin. You can't make something hektish. Lo marichin. You can't make erchin. Erchin is where you say the value of a person. I'm going to give to the hektish. Lo machrimin. You can't make a cherem where you give either to Bedek HaBayis or the Kohen. You're going to consecrate something for the Bedek HaBayis, for the building fund of the Beis HaMikdash, or for the Kohanim. You can't take off Shumas Maisos. All these Sak and Mana, the Gemara is going to say, Kol Elu B'Yom Tov Amru. All these are even Asr on Yom Tov. Kal V'chom B'Shabbos. Certainly on Shabbos he's Asr. Even Yom Tov Shabbos, the only difference in Yom Tov and Shabbos is you're allowed to do food-related preparations on Yom Tov. Whereas La'olin B'ilan, the reason you can't climb a tree, you might, while you're climbing, you might get a little scared or whatever, you lose footing, you might rip off a branch. You can't ride an animal. You might go outside the tchum. It's only a gzeira you might do it, so it must be atu d'oraisa. We're not going to make a gzeira like gzeira. So it must be tchum. You go out of the tchum is d'oraisa. That's not really the opinion. It's only Rabbi Akiva. It's a yichidah. It's a singular opinion. It's a minority opinion. It's talking about where you're going to take off a vine and you start whipping the animal. And it's tolesh, you can't do it. You can't go swimming. You're going to make a tube, Rashi is out of wood, or maybe out of plastic. You're going to make something to float with, and that's a malacha. And you can't clap, you can't hit your thighs, you can't dance. You might make a clarinet, you might make. I went to a wedding the other night. They had a clarinet there. They had a saxophone there. You might make one of those. Worried about that. You can't dance. You can't adjudicate a case. The Gemara says the mitzvah of the Torah is to judge cases. In Parsha Shoftim, we're talking about where there's available another judge who's a better judge. So therefore, to go to you as a judge is not a mitzvah. To go to the better judge is a mitzvah. So it's reshus. That's why it's reshus. You can't do kiddushin to a woman. Kiddushin is a mitzvah. He has a wife and children already. He has a wife and children, so he has the wife. He has the children. He's done pruva. He has an isha, so he's makadish. He's done the mitzvah of nisuah of kiddushin and nisuah. And so therefore, it's not a mitzvah to marry a second woman. The Gemara says you can marry a second woman. L'chol civil miyamin v'hamitzvah ka'avid. You can't do chalitza or yibum. L'shricha deika gadol. There's an older brother to do chalitza or yibum. Therefore, the younger brother does mitzvah. Mitzvah gadol yabim. The real mitzvah of yibum is on the older brother. V'chulu taimamai. What's the reason all these davar shus? My gzeira shama yechta. You might write. Now, I want to explain. We have very little time left today, and Iyun with Benzion, I alluded to before. I'm going to say it very quickly. There's a big machlokas here between Rashi and Tosos. How you understand this Gemara, where the Gemara says Mishum Rishus, you can't do. And the Gemara asks about mitzvah. The Gemara asks 3 times. Once about Kiddusha, once about Chalitza and Yibam, once about donning a case, judging a case. So Rashi explains, what's the question? Mitzvah ka'avid, there were 3 categories in our Mishnah. There were Shvus, Rishus, and Mitzvah. Rashi says, why did the Mishnah not include Kiddushin and Chalitza and Yibam? Why didn't it include it? And donning, why didn't it include that in the case of Mitzvah? Like Makdishin, to make something Cherem, to make Hektish. It's also a mitzvah. These are mitzvahs. The Gemara answer, it's not a mitzvah because Ishla Bonim, the Adiv Minay, Mitzvah Begadol. It's not. We're talking about. It's not a mitzvah. But even if it would be a mitzvah, he wouldn't have Ishla Bonim. It would still be Asar according to Rashi. But Benzion Tam learns a big chiddush over here. Menachem, listen to this chiddush. Menachem, listen to this. Come, Iyun with Benzion. Rabbeinu Tam and Beitzah. Listen to this chiddush.
Yeah.
Rabbi Attia's like this. Attia's.
No.
He said, what is it? The Mishnah says, Lo Makdishin, you can't do Kiddushin on Yom Tov, you can't do Dan Din on Yom Tov, you can't Yibam and Chalitza on Yom Tov, right? So Rashi says, what's the question? The Gemara says, mitzvah ka'avid. He's doing a mitzvah. And the Gemara answers, the Yishla Yishla Bonim, or something like that. Or the Gemara says, the Adif Me is there's a better judge. What's the Gemara's question? So Rashi learns the Gemara's question. He says, why didn't you include it in the Seifa of the Mishnah, which says Mishum Mitzvah, like, think of Chumas Maisos, Makdishin, Mar'ichin. Rabbeinu Tam learns a different shot. Rabbeinu Tam learns mitzvah ka'avid, and it should be mutter. It should be mutter. Which is a mashma what? And the Gemara answer, we're talking about where it's not a mitzvah. Ain't no Yisho Bonim. If he didn't have a Yisho Bonim, it wasn't mitzvah. It would be mutter on Yom Tov. It's halach nafkamina. According to Rabbeinu Tam, it's mutter to do Kiddush. In most cases of Kiddush nowadays, if you don't have Yisho Bonim, it's mutter to Mekadesh Nisha. It's mutter to judge a case on Shabbos and Yom Tov. And it's mutter to do Chalitza and Yibam on Yom Tov if it's a mitzvah, if you're the gadol. What's going on? What's the head? The Gemara Shema Yichtov. Shema Yichtov. Why is it more? You have an answer to this, Menachem? My brother Menachem is a lamdin in Yeshiva's Oral Chanan. He doesn't have an answer for this, but I'm going to give an answer. Even Benzion, what's the difference? Gzeira Shema Yichtov. I want to say, what's the Pshat Rabbeinu Tam? The Pshat Rabbeinu Tam is like this, that it says, Gzeira Shema Yichtov, you might write. We're afraid you're going to start writing. You write the Shtar Kiddushin, you write the Shtar of the Dayanim, the Psak Halacha, the Psak Din. The word is, right, you listening? That when it's a mitzvah, we have a concept in Halacha, Gadol Mitzvah V'osa, Yosser Misheinu Mitzvah V'osa. Right? It's great, it's harder to be a Mitzvah V'osa and do a mitzvah than Eino Mitzvah V'osa. Right? The Mepharshim explain, because it's a chiyuv, it's something you have to worry about. You have daigas, Rabbeinu Tam says, I think. You have daigas, right? You have daigas, worry about doing the mitzvah. So when it's a mitzvah, when you're mitzvah va'osa, like the Gemara says a mitzvah, you have daigas, you're worried, you're thinking, you're in your mind, you're thinking. You're not going to write, there's no gzeira shema yichtov. We're not worried you're going to write a shtar kiddushin. You're thinking, you're right, I want to do the shem mitzvah kiddushin, the shem mitzvah's din, right? He's only his machshavah, he's thinking. He's not going to be lax and write, he's not going to come to writing. But when a person's not doing a mitzvah, yeshlo yisho bonim, right? Or it's not that he's the katan doing yibum, so he's not, it's a reshus, it's a voluntary action. He doesn't have daigas, he's not thinking so much. There he'll be making, and then we're worried Gzeira Shema Yichtov is going to forget that it's Yom Tov or Shabbos, and he'll write. Menachem, you heard the chiddush? Tell everyone what a lamdan I am. Come, Menachem. Ay. All right. Anyway, that was amazing. Iyun Benzion. Have a great day. All right, that was great, right? Everyone loved that one?
Yeah, they liked
We loved it. All right, have a good day. Be well.